Konstantynovska is a medical doctor who finished her medical training at Karazin State Medical University in Kharkiv in the east of Ukraine in the year 2005. Her university is a partner institute of the research center Borstel, and it is only located about 30 kilometers away from the Russian border. So every day there are drones and missiles that are attacking the city of Kharkiv. Kharkiv is about the size of Hamburg, so a little bit more than 2 million inhabitants, and it is the second largest city in Ukraine. Dr. Konstantynovska had then started her training in physiology, which is something that is not existing in our country anymore and which is just in transition in Ukraine, where from tuberculosis doctors, they are moving now to pulmonologists. But at that time, it was still physiology. And she also performed, when she was finished, she worked as a physiologist in the hospital in Kharkiv and did a PhD in physiology that she finished successfully in the year 2018. She is internationally active in tuberculosis and non-tuberculous mycobacteria research, and she's currently the head of the tuberculosis and non-tuberculous mycobacteria group within the European Respiratory Society. So thank you very much for taking the enormous effort to come here. It took 2 days, and you can perhaps explain a little bit how it is possible at all to travel out of Ukraine or inside into Ukraine, and as Kharkiv is on the eastern side by train and car and bus and so on, this is quite a journey. Thank you very much for giving us the pleasure to be here with us today and to report on the fortress in the east, Apocalyptic Notes of a Medical Researcher in War Settings. We are very fortunate of having you here, and let me stick the microphone to the sweater. Unless you need to put on your pants.
Okay. I don't know how to do that. Wait a second. Hello, hello. Can you hear me? Okay. Thank you very much. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Olga. Professor Lange already introduced me. And I don't know if it's visible or not, who I am. I'm an associated professor of Department of Clinical Infectious Disease and Clinical Immunology in Karazin University and Medical School. I'm also half part-time working as a deputy medical director for research in a small private hospital in Kharkiv, which is a small practice for as a general practitioner, but with a focus on infectious disease. And the majority of our patients are HIV-infected patients. So we are working with a specific cohort of patients. And I'm also working as a tuberculosis specialist and pulmonologist in a regional physiopulmonological center in Kharkiv. And I'm also just invited honorary researcher in Imperial College London. And I'm also a researcher. I'm a principal investigator of some clinical trials. I try to do that. And as Professor said, I'm a ERS 10.2 group chair, tuberculosis and non-tuberculous mycobacteria. So I came from Kharkiv. Kharkiv is a very big and very nice, beautiful city. Even now, it's a very big, hospitable city in the eastern part of Ukraine. And this is our main square. It still looks like that despite the war. In case if we have electricity, we have very beautiful view. And you can see here in this photograph, it was done from drone. On the from the right and from the left, you can see the buildings of the university. So main building is on the right and medical school is on the left. And it's a funny fact that it looks like Star Wars Millennium Falcon. So it's biggest square in the city. To come here, it took me 2 days and 1 night in train because we have no airports, and the nearest airport in Poland. So to come here, I took 3 trains from Kharkiv to Kiev, from Kiev to Helm, and I crossed border inside the train. So it was funny fact that border control came just into the carriage and placed the stamp into my passport in the carriage of train. And after that, I took another train from Helm to Warsaw Airport, and I came here. So more than two days and 1 night. What I'm going to say in my lecture. One piece of my lecture, I would like to speak about our city as a fortress in the East, because we are a fortress. I strongly believe that this is true, because we have very specific mood in our population with the patriotism or something. I don't know how to say to our city. And I'm going to talk about medical research and clinical trials in tuberculosis, what's going on right now, and what are the challenges we have, and what we managed to do successful research at the end. So how big is Ukraine? Ukraine is a very big country. Compared to France, you can see that Ukraine is bigger. And compared to the United States, you can see it's a quite big country. And compared to the European Union, if you take the map and place into the European Union map, you can see that this is a huge country. Between eastern and western part, it's about 1,200 kilometers long. So it's big. And in compared to Russia, you can see. About our university. Our university is classical university. It was found more than 220 years ago. So it was a fourth university in the Russian Empire, established and found. And we have 3 Nobel Prizes laureates came from our university. It's Ilya Mechnikov from immunology, Semen Kuznets from economics, and Lev Landau from physics. So they are from our university. And what we are doing in educational work in School of Medicine right now. Before war, we did everything. We had a lot of students. We had university clinics, operations. Our students did everything that every student in medical school should do. But unfortunately, right now, our university clinic is destroyed, and we moved to, at the beginning of war, we moved to simulations. We have a simulation center with a special anatomical table, and our students came to simulation center to continue the education with the simulators. We have a lot of nice simulations, so we are still doing that. And you can see here the process. And we moved to the medical center of Kharkiv, which helps us to continue the medical education for our students. Because without praxis, online treatment, training is not possible to provide. So we have departments located into the different hospitals, and students who are still in Kharkiv, they came to the practical classes to the hospitals, and we work with the real patients, and some students are working as volunteers in the hospitals. And some of our researchers and staff of departments are on front line and working as volunteers and working as military physicians. And good news for us, we still operating as an educational center. We still have international students. and we moved to the western part of Ukraine for on-site training. So we have opened agreement between another university in western part of Ukraine. So international students who are still here in Ukraine, they have offline classes in the western part of Ukraine. So we are, as a teachers, as a lecturers, we are taking trains, came to that city, have lectures with our students, and return back to Kharkiv. So like business trips. But at the beginning of war, some of our teachers provide lectures from the cellar on the houses. You can see it on the internet. It's a lot of information about that. I was lucky because I located in the western part of Kharkiv region. My parents' house is located there, so I was able to have my classes online with my students. So you can see that international students from African countries and from India and all over the world, they are joined online to our classes. And we still continue university in international programs. We are working with the art, with British Council, Fulbright. We are applying for Horizon grants and Erasmus Plus projects. So we are still operating with that. And I would like to say thank you very much, Professor Lange, for organizing the lecture series on respiratory medicine. It was the course of lecture on respiratory medicine online for whole Ukrainians who wanted to join. Not only our university, but also all over the Ukrainian universities came to us to this Zoom. Every Friday we have 1 hour lecture from professors. And I would like to say that superstars of respiratory medicine teach us Professor Peter Barnes from London and Professor Mark Hubert, and a lot of various stars of respiratory medicines. And next thing I want to stress my attention is a laboratory of systematic and evolution of School of Biology. Why I want to say about them? They are doing very nice projects on the Karazin Biolab. They are exploring a broad range of organism and molecular systems, and they are doing consulting and technical stewardship for DNA sequencing projects. And they have very nice equipment, Oxford Mini Ion sequencer. And they are doing full workflow of wet lab DNA manipulations and in-house bioinformatics analysis and data interpretation. So they are doing everything. And another thing is very nice equipped biochemistry and microscopy and immunology labs, a lot of equipment. And this equipment is located in the bunker, in the deep underground in the university. So university building, I demonstrate you the building, but lab is underground. So it's a safe space for this costly instruments and students from the medical school, from School of Biology, and so on, can come to this lab and to do the research projects. Everyone who need this can use. We have confocal fluorescence microscopy device. We have several ELISA instruments. We have real-time PCR instruments, and we have very nice equipped biosafety lab. There our students and researchers can do the experiments what they want. And another daily life is our children because it's not possible to work if you are not organizing your daily needs. So metro school and kindergarten are located in the metro and underground, about 10 meters deeper underground. Newly built spaces, safe spaces for children. And they have classes, especially for young children is very important because before war it was COVID restrictions, so children had no opportunity to socialize to something, and right now they have this opportunity. And you can see here on this slide, there is the kindergarten of my youngest daughter. But sometimes it's not working. For instance, in this photo, you can see our colleague after kindergarten attack. But despite all this, we are successful in the operation of university as a research and educational center. So we still have students, happy us. So we continue to do that. Next piece of my presentation is what we are doing in tuberculosis. As you may know, tuberculosis is very anxious, infectious, and according to the report of WHO, estimated incidence in Ukraine is about 112, but according to reports of our public health center is less. So we are talking about a hidden pandemic because we don't know the exact numbers of cases because of the movements of our patients, our population from one part of country to another part of country. So no one knows what is the population right now and how many patients we have. No one knows. We have just estimated numbers. And our country and our region is a hotspot place on drug-resistant tuberculosis. About 30% of all cases of newly diagnosed tuberculosis are multiple drug-resistant, and some of them are resistant to fluoroquinolones. You can see here the map. Here is Ukraine. So we have a very huge number of such patients. And as you see on this map, Kharkiv is located in the eastern part. It's light blue color. And you can see that regions near front line, they have decreased numbers of incidence rate. Why is that? Because our population moved and we don't know how many people are still here. And calculation of incidence rate of tuberculosis is still calculated into the population before war. So that's why the numbers are so low. But in reality, I think it should be recalculated according to the real population who is still in the country. And you can see that regions which are located nearby us, nearby Kharkiv, they have much more cases. We are thinking that our patients as internally displaced persons came to these regions, and they are calculating our patients as their patients. Structure of our outpatient medical help. So as I said, we have one center as it calls a region of physiopulmonological center located in Kharkiv. And we have also several outpatient department in the Kharkiv region. So Izum, Lazova, Kupiansk, and others. Why I place the hearts here, you can see on this slide. These regions are nearby front lines. So right now they are not operating in the 100% possibilities. So the majority of patients came to us. Here you can see how we are different from the general Ukrainian numbers in tuberculosis incidence rate. So in Kharkiv we have decreased numbers, but we are thinking that this is not true. because of the movements of population. And we have cases of tuberculosis among children. So yeah, you can see on the upper part of this left corner, we had a child with the tuberculosis and with immunodeficiency, with the enlargement of lymph nodes on the neck, and with the producing pus through the skin. So we have a quite big number of children tuberculosis. How we deal with the screening population? So we are looking for possibilities for active case funding. First of all, we are doing a screening survey developed by Public Health Center of Ministry of Health of Ukraine. So we have specific questions. In case of patient is answering 3 times positive, so but a general practitioner should recommend this patient to be checked for tuberculosis. And also we are doing for screening gen expert MTB RIF, and we are doing X-ray. So here is the questionnaire. I translated it into English for you to understand how it works. So special tuberculosis questions. And if patient have a cough, fatigue, sweating at night, decreased body weight, subfebrile fever, shortness of breath. And another piece of questions about the anamnesis. So if patient had tuberculosis in the past, if a patient has chronic disease, and was a patient, bone marrow transplantant, for instance, or patient was in contact with tuberculosis patient, or patient was in prison. But pay attention to the last question. It's following typical for your life. Low level of living conditions, migration, alcohol and drug use, or homelessness. So migration and low level of living conditions, I think it's for all people who are living in the front line. So we can screen anyone for tuberculosis and it will be correct. What we did previously, before we did several studies regarding the strains of mycobacteria circulated in our region. So you can see here, even 10 years ago, we had more than 61% of strains were BGene strains. And we did next generation sequencing with our colleagues in the United States and tried to find genes of resistance. And also we found 11 mutations on PNCA gene on pyrazinamide resistance. And what's going on now with research in tuberculosis? I searched on the website of Clinical Trials Gulf US to check if there is any ongoing clinical trials. And I have found that the majority of clinical trials were terminated or finished before war. And one of the clinical trial is still ongoing, but recruiting process is finished. And here is the Institute of Tuberculosis in Kiev, who are the clinical site. And another clinical study we are participating is a clinical trial center is studying of the diagnostical instruments. So you can see that it's still ongoing. And we are taking part in this study. So what kind of challenges we see and we have, and what are the solutions, how to work with that? So I think I tried to find the most important, but I think there is much more. But let's speak about them one by one. So security concerns. Security concerns is one of the most important thing, because we have risk of violence, conflicts, bombing, and so on. And we need to be sure about safety of trial and clinical research participants, researchers, and medical staff. How to do that? So we are trying to implement risk assessments, security training for staff. So all our physicians and researchers and department staff, they are trained in tactical medicine, because it's very important to know how to act in case of real danger. So we are living in this real danger condition. So we need to do how to stop bleeding, how to evacuate the injured person for safety place, or how to act ourselves in case of danger. And we are doing these trainings in the university in coordination with the local authorities and military forces. Next challenge is infrastructure and logistics. It's very difficult to go to the region to collect samples, to find patients, to recruit these patients, because of lack of transportation, lack of adequate infrastructure. So what to do? For sure, we have to develop flexible and adaptable research protocol. So we can do that. And we did. Establish mobile clinics. We did that. Mobile clinic, it means that special equipped minivan, transport, portable X-ray viewer, nurse, physician, X-ray technician to the from village to village to check if patients need some help, and we can implement that in any another place. So we have experience in that. And for sure, it's telemedicine for remote consultations and data collections. But sometimes a mobile clinic is very dangerous and very difficult to achieve the goal, because the drones are everywhere. And you can see here on the slide that fishing nets try to protect the road. Even, for instance, if it's a small drone, it's highly effective to protect car or minivan, which is driving on this road. So it's working. Another what we are doing with our mobile clinic and with the local authorities is to organize the treatment remotely. So we are sending the agreements between our center to another centers. We first of all try to identify patients. Patients are located in the houses, and we have telemedicine consultations and send medications via mails, via post office, via another possible ways. So we are treating our patients remotely mostly. And regarding the mobile clinic, how it works in reality, a minivan equipped with a portable X-ray viewer, nurse, physician, and lab technician came to some small village, for instance. Local authorities prepare the place. You can see here how it may look. It's without heating, without electricity, without windows. And we have electricity generator for acting with the portable X-ray viewer. Here is the portable X-ray viewer. It stands somewhere in place, and sometimes it's placed without heating, and it's very difficult to provide all these things. So you can imagine how it works. in case if it's in winter, it's very cold, and sometimes it's dangerous for doctors and for nurses to move. So what we did with this mobile clinic and with our portable X-ray viewer, through the period while we start this mobile clinic, we checked about 7,200 civilians in the military zone, and we checked everyone who answered 3 positive questions to that questionnaire which I demonstrated previously. So if patient answered 3 times positive, we have to provide X-ray, and our radiologist is sitting remotely in our center, and via internet we send the X-ray view to the regional computer. So it's online. It's remotely analyzing of X-ray changes, and in case of needed, a nurse should collect sample of sputum of patient or collect sample of blood in case if we expect that this may be HIV infected patient, for instance. So we did that, and we found that there were 6 lung cancers, 10 pneumonias, post-tuberculosis, pulmonary diseases. The majority of cases were with the pulmonary pathology, idiopathic pulmonary fibrosis, pneumoconiosis, and we found 8 cases of active tuberculosis. And what kind of tuberculosis are there? Please see this X-ray. It's horrible, terrible, and very low success outcome of this patient. This patient was not in the medical help for 5 years. Before it was COVID, and now it is worse. So this patient, male patient, young patient, was not checked for tuberculosis for 5 years. And this is new patient with a resistance to rifampicin, but susceptible to fluoroquinolones. That's why we checked all of his household contacts and prescribed them preventive treatment. So very severe cases are in that place. Next challenge is access to healthcare. So it's a very bad problem, especially as closer to war zone, as worst situations with drones. And we have a very deep line of drones, and sometimes it's not possible to come to some villages at all. So how to work? Firstly, we tried to coordinate with humanitarian organizations, with volunteers to provide healthcare service, but sometimes it's not working because volunteering cars are also under attack. And we can also continue to care about our patients. Sometimes it's not working. I demonstrated you this structure. So we are sending the pills via post office, but in case of patient is left this house and he or she is lost to follow up, so we can't continue and provide the adequate treatment. Next challenge is data integrity and quality. This is difficult to provide because we need to prepare special documentations. Sometimes infrastructure is damaged, security concerns, and so on and so on. So we try to implement special data collection and monitoring procedures, utilize technology for real-time data transmission and backup, and conduct regular audit to ensure data integrity. In case of electricity absence, what we are doing? We have solar panels, we have battery backup systems, we have portable power station. It's a very nice device as a battery. gives us access to electricity at least for 12 hours in case if nothing is working. And another is fuel-powered generators. So we are dealing with that. But anyway, we are working with the paper documents, and a lot of papers stored into the special safe. You can see here how it looks. It's a special box with a key. And in case if something will be with this building, this documentation will be destroyed, I think. But good news, we are doing all these things through the internet, and we are working in special database and store and forward technology. And thanks to Starlinks, we have interrupted internet access. So it's very nice, and every school and every university equipped with the Starlinks technologies. Next challenge is recruitment and retention. So it's very difficult to find patients because they are moving, they have fear, and it is very difficult to come to us to be part of the study or something. But we are doing our best to try to find our patients, and we are working through the community healthcare workers. It's a local people who are living in these villages, and they moved from one house to another house, share the screening survey, and prepare the list of patients for us, so we can do that easily. And in case if we prepared, for instance, mobile clinic car equipped with a portable X-ray viewer will come and check all that. And the most important for sure, it's human resources, because the majority of our youth, they left the country. So we have lack of students, lack of young physicians, because no one wants to live in dangerous conditions. So we try to provide training and support for staff and implement rotation schedules. And we try to offer a lot of possibilities for our staff to move somewhere for some rest abroad, for instance, to participate in some conference and return back with the new forces to continue. Another important thing I would like to say that we are still working with the old-fashioned bacteriological lab. We still have Löwenstein-Jensen growth media. We use that. We can collect mycobacteria. We can freeze them, and we have looks like biobank for several years, and it's still operated. And you can see here that we can collect cultures and do what we want with it. So after the finishing of study, what kind of challenge we have? We have to publish, of course. We have to analyze the data. We need to prepare a special plan for action, and prepare all the documents. Sometimes it's very difficult to do, and continuous monitoring and support. So it's very, very difficult to provide, but we are doing that. We try to finalize all the studies we have. But as I said, we have a lack of personnel, a lack of people who can do that. And for instance, if we have just one student or one PhD student, these students can't cover everything. So we need support to help our students to analyze the studies and to help. So lessons I learned. So you have to trust your partners. If you organize some research in war settings, it may be implemented and done, but you have to trust your partners and be flexible and resourceful. And of course, team is the most important. So if you have a nice team, you can do everything. And I like Winston Churchill, who said that sometimes it's not enough to do our best. We must do what is required. And regarding the medical help, the pills, thank you, Professor Lange. Thank you, everyone who helped us provide humanitarian aid. And you can see here on the slide that we have X-ray viewer, the best of the best, which is located in our medical director office for checking the X-rays. And we received a lot of humanitarian needs, drugs, supplements, instruments, and a lot of people are working on the process of delivering that, because without volunteers, it's not possible to provide, because we have no normal post service anymore, and because we have no airports. The nearest airport, as I said, is abroad. So all the equipment and all the medications came through the trucks and vans. So sometimes it takes several days or maybe a week to have the equipment. So what we are going to do next? We are active grant seekers for sure. We are ready to apply for granting. We have experience to work with Horizon, with the European Union platforms. For instance, last year we again received the grant for Erasmus Plus projects for international academic mobility for our students and staff. So we have that. For sure, we want to expand telemedicine and patient consultation through online resources for monitoring treatment and organization of mobile medical teams. I would like to say several words about that. Again, we are acting through NGOs, non-governmental organizations provide us the supporting for the fuel, for medications, for sorry. What is that? Why is not working? Sorry. No, not the game, not over. So NGOs provide us support with the fuel because it's very expensive, and unfortunately we can't cover that. Sometimes villages are located 300 kilometers from our center, so driver should drive at least 4.5 hours, sometimes with very bad roads. And in one mobile clinic day, we can check a maximum 50 patients. So sometimes we need several days to cover all patients who need that. So we need to optimize that, calculate if it's cost effective or not. But I think it's cost effective because every breath is important, and we need to find everyone who is sick and need to provide medical help. Training of medical professionals and the population. We are doing some brochures to population in the places the internally displaced people live in. So we are placing this information, how to achieve medical help, what is that tuberculosis, how to prevent, how to wash hands, for instance, how to do mechanical ventilation, how to wash the floor, how often patients should be checked by a general practitioner in case if, for instance, patient has some disease which can lead to tuberculosis, for instance, diabetes or something. So we are doing that. And we have a lot of data. We need to analyze them, but sometimes we don't know how, because we have a lot of different things, and sometimes it's not correct analyzed, and we have lack of expertise sometimes, but with the help of our international colleagues, we are doing that. And I hope our experience will be very, very helpful for the whole world, I think. What is next? We have not only tuberculosis, we have everything. But as I said, as a physiopulmonological center, we are concentrated on tuberculosis. But we have also non-tuberculous mycobacteria. We have aspergillus, we have something else. We don't know what is that. Maybe some another fungus infections, because we have a lot of patients from the front line who are living for several months in the cellars, so we don't know. Sometimes we prescribe our drugs empirically and see results, and patients went home. So sometimes we need help with diagnostics as well. And I would like to say thanks to my colleagues who are working as heroes in the hospital. So you can see we are not only doctors and nurses and technicians, but we are also human beings. We like to go somewhere, to make fun, to go to conferences, to swim in the pool, and so on. So I don't know what to say again. Thank you very much for your attention. And I want to show you this slide. This is the city center, and it was the photo was done at the beginning of war. It's a missile and person doing yoga. So let's the war finish and we can work. Thank you very much. If you have questions, you can ask me.
Share this.
Yeah. Sorry.
So thank you very much. I think it takes a lot of resilience to work in your place, and it is amazing what you are keeping up despite a lot of pressure and happiness and collegiality. For us, it is a great privilege to be partnering with you. This is also a moment to say thank you to people who are supporting us. This is, for example, the Rotary Club in Stormann, and Mr. Tennyson is here, who, together with the Rotary Club in Bagdaheide, have now donated quite a large of financial funds, in addition to some medical aid, but also the financial funds to buy, for example, medicines that are needed to treat patients. There are also drivers, like I see Niklas Köhler in the back, who several times drove with me the bus. How does it work? There is a Ukrainian person living somewhere close to Chemnitz who is having a garage, and he is collecting all the donations. So we get in contact with him, say, can we come next weekend? Says, sure. So we bring a bus load, the blue Borstel Bolly bus load full of medicines and equipment from the old hospital, like this X-ray box. And he stores it, and then he drives with his car and with an anhänger. What is an anhänger in English? Something that is in the back of your car also. So he pulls this into through Poland to Lviv. Then everything is stored in Lviv, and somebody brings the goods in Lviv onto the train, and then they will be brought into the main train station in Kharkiv, and then they bring it to your TB hospital. By now we have 8 of these shipments, and I don't think a single thing did not arrive. It's a bit miraculous. It all arrives. We put your name on each of the packages, and people seem to know you, and things occur, or not occur, but they arrive. This is only a small drop, but I think people on this side know that you are also defending democracy for us. And many of us think that we should actually be more active in helping to defend your country, also simply because of self-interest, but also because what happens there is a shame. So, if you say, how could we partner best? What can we do to support your university? I understand that many of, especially the male colleagues who are teaching at the university, but also male students, that they get recruited to the army, and also probably students who go to school. When once school is finished, they try to get out of the country if they do not want to serve in the army. It seems to be a difficult situation if we do not get any political solution to this war. So how can we help best?
I think. Thank you very much for such an important question. I think that we need to, for women of our university, we need to make the studying process in the university much more safer. We're doing that in our best. We provide classes in the bunkers. But regarding the numbers of students, people are afraid to come to Kharkiv. Right now, they are trying to find another universities to apply for in a much more safer space. And in case if we have programs for students to study abroad, for instance, or to have short trainings abroad, not only via Erasmus projects, but for short periods of trainings. I think it will be also very nice for us, because we will have specialists, and we will train our students and PhD students, and we will have experts in that, and we can avoid brain drain. But I don't know how to deal with the male students, because it's not a solution for them. And our government right now gave the I don't know how to say that, order or something, that young men below 22 years old, they are allowed to leave the country. So that's why we have a lot of young males left. So we don't know how to deal with that. There is no solution. I don't know.
But perhaps I can take you up on the need. And if you send me a list of colleagues and of special needs for training, we in Borstel can distribute this list and can see, is there a laboratory that has this and this expertise in molecular sequencing, in immunology, in histopathology, just to name 3 different areas where we have groups that are working here. And we could try to find solutions for your scholars who need training. And I think where there's a will, there will also be funds to support it. Now, do you have questions